Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching. For my current subscribers and those that regularly watch the channel, thank you. I appreciate the comments. I'll try and get back to everyone as quickly as I can. I do appreciate your input. I never, pretend to be an expert in this. I'm getting through this one mistake at a time. But I like to pass on the knowledge that I've learned and what I've learned from purchasing boots and the mistakes that I've made. What I've learned along the way, I like to pass that on to you so that you have that information when you make your purchases. Built for life. So that's a slogan or a statement that I use when telling other people about Pacific Northwest boots. I don't know that I've used it on this channel as of yet, but when talking with others, I use it regularly because that's a true statement. When you buy a Pacific Northwest boot, built for life doesn't mean you purchase it once and then you never have to purchase another boot, or all your repairs are free. No, doesn't mean that. What it boils down to is you're buying a high quality, well constructed, crafted boot that's made with premium materials. That's why these boots oftentimes have a relatively significant break-in period, because they are built with thick leather, and it has a leather insole, a leather midsole, a slip sole, and an outsole. Some of them have lineman shanks. I could go on and describe all this stuff, but the point is, once you make a purchase, that boot has the potential to last you the rest of your life. Now, it doesn't mean you won't have to spend any more money. It's not what it means. However, the cost over an extended period of time with a Pacific Northwest boot is oftentimes, if not always, a lot less expensive than buying boots over and over and over again. Buying boots every 6 months, buying boots every year, or even a year and a half. With these boots, sole wears out, replace the sole. The vamp gets damaged or starts to rot, or because it's been exposed to water and salt and chemicals or whatever, you can replace that stuff. That's called a rebuild. So you can make one very large purchase, and then over a period of years, you can do maintenance on it. And again, repair or replace the components that need to be done. The only exception is the shaft of the boot. That and the leather underneath these outer components, because there is leather under here, like in this boot here and this boot here. That's not replaced. If that gets really damaged where it can't be stitched to or whatnot, then your cost is going to be higher in doing the repair. But again, built for life also means if you are a farmer, if you are a mechanic, if you are in the timber industry, if you are a lineman, if you wear them at home, if you wear them to go out. Some of the boots are relatively classy, fancy. No matter what you do, it's built for all occasions, and it'll handle them. The only exception would be if you are in water a long period of time. If you're always submerged in water, then you're probably going to want to look at a waterproof boot. But outside of that, they'll do just about anything. So today I wanted to talk about customization. And this is one of the reasons that I got into Pacific Northwest boots, because I liked the idea of being able to get what I wanted. And that's not always, well, if you have a boot that is mass produced, you're not going to have that option. You can't go to Red Wing and say, hey, I like this boot off the shelf. Do me a favor and tear it down and rebuild it and, get me what I want. There are some customization options, like you can get a different color, You can have a boot dyed like black if you need it black, stuff like that, but it's very basic stuff, not to the level that we're going to see here. Of all the Pacific Northwest manufacturers, and there's three that I'm very comfortable with recommending, and that would be White's, Frank's, and Wesco. I have experience with those boots. I have worn those boots. I have torn those boots down. Those boots, those manufacturers, I am very comfortable with in recommending to you. I would have no issue with that. There is one manufacturer, however, that stands out from the rest as far as customization is concerned, and the ability to customize and the willingness to grant you what you're looking for. And that would be Frank's Boot Company. And they just so happen to be the manufacturer that I use quite a bit. And there's reason for it. And I've stated before, they build with a McKay stitch where the other manufacturers have abandoned that practice. I personally think it is very important to have that stitch, and that's just to ensure that the boot stays together, that you're not going to delaminate the insole. It's not going to separate and curl up. If you get into some water, you're not going to get trash and debris between the insole and the midsole. To me, it's very important. And it just shows that the builder is interested in providing their customer with a durable boot. And, some of the manufacturers say it's not needed. Well, Frank's goes above and beyond. That's what I like about them. Now, that's not to say that I won't buy a White's or I won't buy a Wesco. And they know that. I have no problem buying those boots. It's just anything that I am interested in purchasing right now, Frank's can provide, and I feel more comfortable buying from them because they know me. And secondly, when I can talk to customers about who to purchase boots from, I need to know that if I send them to a manufacturer or a builder, that they're going to be well taken care of, because that's going to be a direct reflection on me. So I'm not about to send people to some manufacturers in Spokane or in the Pacific Northwest. It's just not going to happen. So now, if things change and their practices improve, I'd be open to the idea. Anyway, customization. So Frank's, White's, and Wesco will customize your boots for you. Some manufacturers to a certain extent. Other manufacturers, the sky's pretty much the limit. Although, there are some things that they physically can't do. So make sure that when you're talking to them that it's a realistic expectation. So here's an example right here of a boot that I had Frank's build. It is on here we've got some embroidery, and that is the invasion star that was used when the United States invaded France on D-Day. And this was to identify Allied planes and tanks and trucks and, those types of things, armor. Below it, it says, "All hell can't stop us." That was the motto of the 134th Regiment, which my grandfather belonged to. They were primarily out of the Midwest. The 134th was out of Nebraska, and that's where I'm originally from. So I wanted to do something to commemorate his memory and his service to the country and help people, start a conversation, I guess, and that could kind of lead me into, talking about the "did you know" piece, kind of like, I hate to use Cliff Clavin because he can be kind of annoying at times, but, kind of, talk to people about, did you know this in history? The 134th was very instrumental in clearing the path for the Allies to get through to St. Lo and eventually get all the way through to Bastogne. So if Hill 122 was not taken by the 134th, it would have been a disaster. The casualties would have been much higher. And then if you don't take St. Lo, then you getting through to Paris is a lot more challenging. So I had talked to Michelle at Frank's, and I said, "This is what I want to do. This is what I want it to look like. I want the invasion star on the front. I would like all hell can't stop us. We talked about embroidery, and then we eventually landed on laser. And then I wanted the invasion stripes somewhere, or at least them represented somewhere on the boot. And the invasion stripes were put on planes. So when you see World War II footage of planes that have the black and white stripes, that was used on D-Day initially, and that was to identify Allied aircraft. So on the back here, we have a black backstay, and then it has white, what they call piping, and that's these two cords, I guess you could call them. That's what it looks like anyway, but it's called piping, that are on either side of the black backstay. This boot is also has a Norwegian hand-rolled welt, which is this area here. It's stitched by hand. It is not machine stitched. It is technically not a stitched down construction, although it's very similar. The difference is this type of build, which White's also does on their premium builds, does not require a Mackay stitch because you are tying all three components together. You're tying the upper, the midsole, and the insole together with this type of welt. And I think it looks elegant, I guess is the word. It looks vintage, so that's another thing that I really like about it. So there's one example. This has a V100 sole on it, white X. Here's another boot, basically the same thing, but a little bit different. This is a boot that is a tribute to the Black Widow, the night fighter, the first United States first night fighter that was released in World War II, towards the end of World War II. And basically same construction, monkey boot, again V100, white sole. The difference between these two boots, this boot has a lineman shank. So it has this piece of leather right here that goes from the heel to the forward part of the arch. The 134th boot, this boot here, does not have one. So you may ask, well, why did you do that? Because I wanted to. There's really no other reason. I just wanted one with a lineman shank and one without, so that I could try and figure out if one felt better than the other. And to be honest, the difference in the way that it feels is negligible. I mean, there's really not a lot of difference. Next, we will look at, I guess I'll get these out of the way since they're sitting right in front of me. This is it's a Riker hybrid. So I had talked to Frank's, and I said, listen, I'm in law enforcement. The boots that we get, and the boots that are provided to us, and the allowance that we get, means that we end up with a boot that is normally quite uncomfortable, and it doesn't last very long. So I was interested in having them build me a boot paying for a boot. I knew it was going to cost me up front, but I knew it would last a long time too. And I wanted to see, if they could get it to where it would be comfortable enough to wear all day and be able to run and, be agile enough. And this boot has exceeded expectations in that field. It's done very well. The only thing that I would do differently on this boot, as a matter of fact, I had to take the embroidery off because the embroidery was so stiff on the outer part, the outer panel here, that it was not, you weren't getting the reliefs in here, or these wrinkles in here, and it was it dug into my ankle in just an awkward way. It didn't feel very good. I knew something was off. Once I removed that, it was night and day difference. So, again, we learned something. I learned something. You learned something. If you're going to have embroidery done on a canvas boot, I would recommend that you make the embroidery small. Don't make it large, because it's not going to flex in that area very well. Now, could I have worn it for a long period of time, and would it have eventually flexed? Probably. But I just didn't want to wait that amount of time to get to that point. So I just removed it. I have pictures of it with it on there, and again, that was for me. That wasn't for anybody else. Franks didn't say, I want to put this on there. That was 100% me. I bought it. I decided to put it on there. I certainly don't expect, any compensation because I had to remove it, because that was my deal. I asked for it. So it didn't work out. Now I know. And I'm not mad about it. I'm not upset. Sometimes this stuff happens. Like I've stated before, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I get through life, as a matter of fact, one mistake at a time. And that's how we learn. So there's that boot. This is a monkey boot. All three of these are actually monkey boots. And as you can tell, I like monkey boots. And I do. I like the ability to be able to get the tension adjusted here when I need it. So with a standard boot, like my wife's boot here, I can't always wear them. It just depends on the last. And it depends on the build, how stiff is it, those types of things, because I can't get this tight enough up here. But I'm looking at a boot right now at putting an order in for it that is going to be this style. And it's going to have a toe cap. So putting a toe cap on a lace-to-toe doesn't make any sense, and you certainly can't put it on a monkey. So if I want a toe cap to give it that look, that classic look, I'm going to have to go with a standard build. But with the right last, I'll be able to do it. So, it should not be an issue. But this has a Sierra sole, and again, this is an option. This boot had never been built before. There had been ones like it that other people had done, like a lace-to-toe version. There had also been a standard version with this sole on it, but not a monkey boot. So, again, options are there, and Franks will tackle just about anything as long as it makes sense. So then I've got this other boot, which, again, monkey boot. And it is a veg tan leather. It is Old English Dublin over oiled Latigo chestnut. And that boot is just crazy comfortable. The boot I'm wearing right now is also crazy comfortable. And the boot I'm wearing now is a lineman boot they built for me. It's one of my newest boots. and it's a 16-inch lineman boot built as the monkey style or design. It has a lineman shank, and it's built on a 4811 last, and it's crazy comfortable. Um, Whatever your mind can conceive, um, Franks can bring it to a reality. They can bring it into existence. I'm just amazed at the amount of things that they can do. So you've got leather options. And there are some companies out there that may have a few more leather options, but I mean, there's not a color that you can't find. I mean, I suppose I don't know anyone that's doing pink, but you're not going to find that. But you got reds, you got oranges, you got your tans, your blues, your greens, you got bison. You just got a lot of different options. And again, the boots are built very, very well. Franks pays close attention to detail. That's one of the things I like about them. Whites does too. So does Wesco. So any one of those three brands, if you were to purchase a boot, if you see something that you like and land on it, then go for it. I don't have an issue recommending, any of those companies. Um, I do have other boots from Franks in my collection. They're standard boots that I bought off the website, or that I called and said, hey, build this lace to toe for me. Or I'd like a Fire Commander. Or I'd like a Icelander. Those are boots that I have that are purchased off the website. So not everything is customized. But if you're looking for a, customized boot, or you want something that you think in your mind, and you put these components together and you're like, I wonder if they can do it, chances are they're going to be able to do it. You just need to call and talk to them. Don't try and order a customized boot online. That's my personal opinion. Now, I know other people have done it, and it can be done, but if you want to make sure that you get everything that you're looking for, you need that two-way communication to understand that they comprehend what you're telling them, because things, written down don't always translate well. I mean, what one person says or writes down, another person may comprehend it a different way, and then you end up with something that you don't want. And miscommunications are less likely to happen if you call and talk to somebody. I've had no issues when I've called and talked to any of the representatives at Franks. I have not built a customized boot from Whites or Wesco. And it's not because I don't like them or I think that they can't do it. It's just that once I got comfortable with Franks and they knew me and they could build a boot for me that was very durable and that was very comfortable for me with my medical conditions, I stuck with them. I mean, why would I want to go someplace else when I've got a builder that's taking care of me and is doing things that makes me hurt less? I'm not willing to take that risk. That's why I haven't bought anything from Nix. Is Nix a bad company? I don't think so. I mean, just like anybody else, you can look at reviews and stuff and you're going to get positive and negative. But overall, I don't think they're a bad company at all. I just have no reason to buy from them because Frank's is literally taking care of all my needs. I mean, if I want a whites, like a 4811 lasted boot, I can get that from Frank's. The 55 last, all of them make that, with the exception of Wesco. I've got a Wesco at Frank's right now that they're going to look at rebuilding. So that is important. If you're into the customization business, so to speak, and you're buying your boots and you want a boot built a certain way, then make sure you get with the right company. There are some companies out there that will tell you they can do just about anything or they've got the greatest boot in the world, but make sure you do your research. So any questions that you may have, feel free to hit me up. Feel free to let me know. Be glad to get back to you. I do enjoy the questions. Again, I may not have the answer right away, but I'll find it and I will get back to you. Beyond that, everyone have a great day and thank you for watching.